David Lloyd here in studio after a wild finish in Minnesota between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. But D. Lloyd, a star was born in the 6-1-2.
Sure was. Ayo Dosunmu. This game had so much going on in this game. Let's dive right in. An epic game between the Nuggets and Timberwolves, with Minnesota coming in leading the series 2-1. Aaron Gordon would return to the lineup in this one, but it's a war of attrition, and the Timberwolves would lose a couple guys. Donte DiVincenzo, watch him here, goes after the ball, plants that right foot, and immediately grabs at the Achilles. You see it there, the ripple, the telltale ripple in the sock. Terrible to see. It is an Achilles tear. That's been confirmed for DiVincenzo. His season is over. And then a little bit later, Anthony Edwards missing on the layup. Tim Hardaway Jr. to Jamal Murray on the break. Nuggets up 3 at that point, late first. Cam Johnson driving. Edwards challenges, comes down hard and awkwardly. And this looked gruesome as well. The left knee. Oh
my goodness, so hard to watch.
Ant leaves, ruled out for the rest of the game. No further word on the severity of that injury. Timberwolves down 4 at the half. The Wolves starting backcourt out. Enter Ayo Dosunmu, who just had one of those magical nights. Jokic, the turnover. Julius Randle on the break. It's a party in Minnesota. Timberwolves up 4 at the end of 3, and they totally flipped this game. Fourth quarter. That smothering Timberwolves defense forces the turnover. Dosunmu, the bunny at the other end. That's 30 for Ayo coming off the bench. Timberwolves up by 8. And then one more time, Dosunmu, the floater off the window. Didn't just have a playoff career high, but the biggest point total of his entire NBA career. How about the 3, which for all intents and purposes ended this one, put Minnesota up by 12. One more. Dosunmu comes off the bench to score 43 points in 42 minutes. He's the star. And then ugliness at the end. The Nuggets have basically stopped playing. Jaden McDaniels breaks an unwritten rule and cashes in at the other end. And Jokic is furious, comes right down and shoves him. Those two square off. And then guys coming off that Nuggets bench. You heard it on the telecast. The NBA, the league's going to have to adjudicate this, see if suspensions are in order. Timberwolves win game 4, 3-1 to take the series lead there as the series now swings back to Denver. Take a look at the Timberwolves and what they've done without Anthony Edwards. Left the game tonight 9-2 against teams that missed the playoffs without Edwards. 3-7 against teams that made the playoffs, but they certainly played well tonight. No Edwards, no Donte DiVincenzo for the balance of this game, and Minnesota with a convincing win nonetheless.
For more, I'm joined by ESPN NBA analyst Chiney Ogwumike. Chiney, despite 2 enormous injuries to the Timberwolves starting backcourt, of course, the hyperextension to Ant's knee and the Achilles injury to Donte DiVincenzo, the T-Wolves still beat the Nuggets thanks to an heroic performance by Ayo Dosunmu. What do you make of what we saw from Ayo and the Timberwolves?
So just as the game was winding down, I was like, oh, it's over. And then, no, we had the little bit of a scuffle at the end. Are you not entertained? This is playoff basketball at the highest level. And the last thing that we want are injuries and suspensions affecting the talent on the floor. But let's not miss the main story here, which is Ayo Dosunmu just really rising up, understanding that when you're down, you're all everything player. In Anthony Edwards, it can motivate your team. It can galvanize your squad. And I've noticed over the course of this playoffs, this team has taken on his personality on both ends of the floor. How remarkable for Ayo to have 43 points. He shot 13 for 17 from the field, 5 for 5 from 3. Perfect from the free throw line, 12 for 12 in the playoffs. It's a series. It's a chess match. It's not checkers. And you always need an element of surprise in order to win a series. He was that element of surprise, but we shouldn't have been, because if you look at his numbers, he's had big games in this series. And so to see him step up in this stage, especially when a number of their stars have gone down, it was honestly inspiring. It was full of heart. They played like that on both ends of the floor. I mean, their bench, Naz Reid, gave them 17 points as well. Every player for the Timberwolves is giving their all on all possessions. To me, it was great basketball. I hope the suspensions don't hamper what can happen moving forward. And we wish those Timberwolves stars also health as well.
Right, because as you mentioned, such an inspiring performance by the Timberwolves, who are now up 3-1 over the Nuggets. But, you know, the possibility of suspensions and injuries impacting who's on the court for Game 5. We know DiVincenzo will be out for the foreseeable future with that Achilles. We don't yet know how severe that knee injury was for Anthony Edwards. But, Janae, if he can't come back, how do you see the rest of this series shaping up?
I'm not going to doubt the T-Wolves, not at this point, especially with the edge, the margin. They have a bigger margin for error based off of the head start that they've created just by playing hard and playing together. Now, if they advance in this series, it's going to be much more difficult if Anthony Edwards has to miss extended amount of time, because what's lurking on the other side, likely the San Antonio Spurs and hopefully Victor Wembanyama when he gets back from concussion protocol. And then you look at the bigger scheme of the West. Oklahoma City Thunder, they're dealing without J-Dub, and what happened? Oh, Shea just casually having 40-plus, picking up the slack. The West is stacked, and they will need their top dogs, literally the Timberwolves, on the floor to be able to compete. But right now, this is a great day for them to be able to get a win in very difficult circumstances.
Absolutely. As we look ahead to Game 5 Monday in Denver, we'll keep up with the latest of who is available, who is suspended, who is hurt. Chiney Ogwumike, thanks for being available for us tonight.
New on SportsCenter, here's Timberwolves head coach Chris Finch.
Chris, you guys lose two guys to big injuries. Just what did you see from your group collectively to dig deep and pull this one out?
Might be the most proud of our team all season, just fighting through everything we did. We knew that they were going to come out with a super spirited and sharp effort, which they certainly looked good in the first. And, losing those two guys was really tough emotionally for the guys. Regrouped well. I thought the key was just hanging in there until we get to halftime, kind of reset things, figure out what we have and who we have going forward. We just, we're able to find our offensive rhythm. I mean, Iowa was just out of this world, man. And just play after play after play. And we really had a team effort. I mean, everybody chipped in, whether Mike, played whatever he played, 20 minutes, even Kyle's minutes. TJ hits a three. And that's what you need, man. I'm just really proud of these guys. Can't say it enough, man.
What are you learning about Io just as a competitor, as just a will to win guy that, delivers the way that he was?
Yeah, he's a gamer. I mean, he's really a gamer. Like, he just has met the moment since he's gotten here. The beginning of the series, you could see him trying to feel his way through it. Obviously Game 3, his aggressiveness came out, and he just kept with it. And goes places quick. Unbelievable finisher, makes big shots, not afraid. So just was going to ride him until, he collapsed, really. So,
Chris, you said kind of get to halftime and regroup. What was it like at halftime, and kind of what was the collective mood throughout the second half as you saw?
Yeah, I think the mood was, obviously a little somber, just with with the guys being out. But the film was good, super pointed. We needed to know what we needed to get back to doing, and they were playing really well. They came out here sharp. They made a couple good adjustments, and we had to adjust to that. So, all credit to ET and Pablo and those guys for really kind of sorting out the game plan as we went through it.
What do you know on Edwards?
All right, let's move on to Knicks Hawks earlier today in Atlanta. Knicks down 2-1 in the series. They needed something, and they would get it from all their guys. Karl Anthony Towns drives, finds Jalen Brunson over there in the corner. Knicks with the early lead. Hawks come right back. They swing it around. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, other corner, Hawks up 14-13. Then Brunson going to take Alexander-Walker up and over. Nifty. Knicks up 7 after 1. Quarter 2 now. Cat gets it outside, puts it on the floor. Oh, he held on to that pivot foot, I think. Sort of. Tough bucket there. And then OG Anunoby really had a nice game. step back three, splash. Knicks up 14 at the half. Been playing some tight games and losing against Atlanta, but not on this day. Although trouble here, Brunson gets caught in the double team and rolls his ankle. You see it again right there, that right foot rolled it on Josh Hart's foot. So he leaves for a bit, goes back to the locker room. And then the Hawks trying to make a run. Jose Alvarado, though. Grand Theft Alvarado with the pick. And then Cat to OG. It's all working for the Knicks. Less than a minute later, Towns to Alvarado, who was money from outside. Knocked down 4 of those. Knicks up by 13. And then here comes Brunson back on the floor. And he hands it off to Cat, who steps into his three. Knicks up 21 after 3. They had that look. Fourth quarter. Towns and Anunoby. Cat had a triple-double. OG had 22 points and 10 boards. And then one more. Brunson, kind of a muted game. 19 points, but it was plenty. Knicks go on to win 114-98 to tie the series at 2 games apiece.
The way we played on both sides of the ball. Like I said, going back to the second half of, or the fourth quarter of Game 3, the way we've been able to do that these past 5 quarters is how we got to play, especially against them. I mean, like I said before, the things that they're doing and how they're playing is great. You know, we just have to be able to continue what we're doing as we did the past 5 quarters.
In a pivotal game like tonight, we needed to be our best. I thought we not only met the challenge, but we exceeded the expectation in the moment, and that's what you expect a team that has experience like us to do.
In the long and storied history of the New York Knickerbockers, Cat is just the second player to have a 20-point triple-double in a playoff game. The only other guy was Walt Clyde Frazier 5.5 decades ago. Clyde was actually in the crowd today watching this game, of course. Walt did it against Bill Russell and company in the 1969 Eastern Division Finals. That tells you how long ago it was.
I bet he was still styling and profiling back then, too. To the Western Conference, OKC leading the Suns 2-0 as the series goes back to the Valley of the Sun, but it was SGA bringing the heat in this one, as evidenced by the ring of fire surrounding this man. Yes, that was in real life, but it might as well have been with the way he was shooting. Pulls up for the open 3, drains that, then driving, gets the layup to go. Thunder up 6. We've seen the long, we've seen the short. Let's get the midi, jumper, count it, bucket. SGA just cannot miss. Late in the first half, driving, pulls up another J. 17 points. This man was 7 for 7 from the field in the first half. The Thunder led by 9 at the break. Early in the third, Devin Booker trips over Lou Dort trying to cut back door. As we take another look at this, Dort's leg just catching Booker. Here's what Booker had to say about the play.
I mean, I don't know if it's intentional or not. I mean, I've seen he stuck his leg out a little bit. He threw his hand up, you know, to say that it was a foul, and, you know, it just wasn't granted.
Seeing a lot of injuries. Fortunately, Booker would return. Suns trailing by 11 late in the third. Dylan Brooks drives, pulls up with a fadeaway. That's good. Brooks had 33 and 7. Suns trailing by 9, trying to make it a game. Brooks drives, finds Booker in the corner for 3. 16 and 7 he'd have. The Suns climbing back in this one. 87-79 heading into the fourth. But now in the fourth, SGA just can't stop, won't stop. Gets a bunny to go. Thunder up 13. He is loving it. This man was on fire, quite literally, despite the fact that the fire ring has faded. He still strips Booker, finishes with a slam. 42 points. That's a playoff career high. Thunder win the game. Here's SGA.
Regardless of who's out there, I get to go out there and play my game. That's just like the role I have on this team. And my coaches and teammates do a really good job of like letting me be in my space. And now with our second ball handler out, naturally the end of the shot clock plays, and naturally the start of possessions the ball's gonna be in my hands more, just naturally without Dub out there. So it's a little bit more opportunity. But regardless with that opportunity, I try not to press more or press less, just let the game tell me what to do. And usually it works pretty well.
I don't think we saw anything different tonight than we normally do. except he was 15 for 18. So.
Yeah, Chet, 15 for 18 is a little out of the ordinary there. SGA's 42 points are the third most in NBA playoff history by a player to shoot 80% or better. The only guys with more are Dirk and Devin Booker, who was also in this game tonight. Shea was 14 for 15 from inside the arc in this one, something no player in the
NBA analyst Chiney Ogwumike joins us now. Chiney, now that was what we expected from the Knicks all along, an emphatic win in Game 4. Tell me what was different about New York in this one.
Their level of urgency. You heard Karl-Anthony Towns post-game. He said that they understood the magnitude of the moment. Their backs were against the wall, and what a response. It was truly a very physical game, but they played at that level. They dug in defensively. They actually held Atlanta to just 7 fast break points, their fewest since last year. But I really liked the Karl-Anthony Towns game because they finally sort of used him as a hub on both ends of the floor. He had a triple-double, his first ever playoff career triple-double, and this was on the road when they really needed it. And so you look at the New York Knicks, it was a team effort, but I'm glad that they got Karl-Anthony Towns involved because when he goes and he's productive, the rest of the squad follows.
Yeah, it certainly looked good. As you said, desperation equals inspiration. Series now swings back to New York, couple days off. Game 5 goes Tuesday night. And don't worry, there's more Chiney coming up in this very sports, which does not look at all like a 1 versus 8 series. 1-1 coming into today's action. Paulo Banchero and company back home in Orlando. Pick it up early in the third. Magic up by 9, and here comes Paulo driving right down Broadway with 2 hands. J.B. Bickerstaff does not like that kind of defense from his team. And then Desmond Bane. The Killer Bees, Banchero and Bane. Bane had 25, 7 threes in this one. Magic up 8 going into the fourth. Banchero driving and crunching again. Magic led by 17 at one point, but the Pistons would show their mettle and they would roar back. They cut it to 11. Cade Cunningham. Drive through contact, gets that to go and 1. Under 4 to go. Pistons cut it to 6. Cunningham finding Tobias Harris. That guy was cooking. He had 23. Pistons cut it to 3. Next Magic possession. Banchero drives. Jalen Duren meets him at the rim. And then the Pistons moving down court. Cunningham bringing it up. And he's going to raise up and knock down the 3. He had 27. Ties it at 104. All the momentum flowing Detroit's way. And then Franz Wagner stepped into the fray. Wagner. Contested jumper, gets it to go. Magic retake the lead up by 1. Next trip down. It's Wagner again. Hoisting up a 3 ball. 5 straight points for Wagner to give Orlando the 4-point lead. Just over a minute to go. Cunningham drives, but loses his footing, and it's Orlando's ball. And then Banchero, he threw up a Tyrese Halliburton. Up and down. Way up over the glass, and it falls. He had 25. The Magic take a 2-1 series lead.
I haven't learned anything. You know, we got a lot of respect for those guys over there. But we know how we stack up. We know what we got in this locker room. And so we don't fear them. But, you know, we got a lot of respect, and we just want to have to bring it on Monday.
It all starts with me. I got to be better about organizing this and making sure we're getting shots on the run.
We'll learn from it. But it's over with. And, you know, it gives us more opportunity to study. It gives us more film to watch, more time, you know, to prepare, to get ready for Monday. But you can't hang on to it. And, again, our guys have been consistent all year that we've been able to move on to the next. So I trust our guys, you know, that we'll focus on it. We'll learn from it. We'll study it. We'll get better at it. And then Monday we'll be ready to go.
Obviously, this series far from over. There have been 8 previous instances of a 1 seed falling into a 2-1 hole to an 8 seed in a best of 7. Half of those 1 seeds came back to win the series, and all 4 won their next series as well. But only one played its way to a title after the early first round.
Some instant analysis. Welcoming CBS Sports HQ NBA analyst John Gonzalez. John, the Timberwolves guard Dante DiVincenzo suffering a torn right Achilles 79 seconds into Game 4. First of 2 big injuries for Minnesota. Also lost star Anthony Edwards to a left knee injury during this game. He's set to undergo testing. This is a massive blow, losing DiVincenzo rest of way, and then now the concern for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, you go up 3-1, but also you lose 2 of your 5 starters, and for sure you're out of Dante DiVincenzo, right? Because he's got the Achilles, and that's going to be a long recovery for him. And it's such a shame, too, because he's had such a good season for them. He played all out of wonder. Well, what are they going to look like moving forward and into the second round? Like, that is a really tough ask to be down two of your best players moving forward. It's just a super bittersweet night for them.
Yeah, it's the next man up situation. I mean, that's how it goes here in the playoffs. And you saw Ayo Dosunmu go off. I mean, what a night for him. 43 points in 42 minutes. I mean, this is a guy that carried Minnesota on this night. What did you see from him to have this opportunity?
Yeah, he's a bucket. And the Wolves realized at the trade deadline that they needed to get better off their bench, because it was basically just Naz Reid off of their bench, and then they were just crossing their fingers every night and hoping that they weren't going to need anything beyond that. And they really missed Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who left in free agency and now is a starter for the Atlanta Hawks. And so the Wolves looked around and said, well, who can we get at the trade deadline that might be able to bolster our scoring? Well, boy, did they land on the right guy, because Ayo Dosunmu can flat out score, and he was super underrated and underutilized in Chicago. Comes into the Wolves, fits in seamlessly. Chris Finch has been singing his praises about how good a shooter he is. Well, once Dante DiVincenzo went down, you figured, okay, Ayo's number is going to get called here. Ant goes down on top of that. Now there's no choice, but Ayo's got to have a big game. I mean, you would want Julius Randle to 100 shots, and he was 6 for 16 tonight, scored 15 points on those 16 shots. But it was really Ayo coming to the rescue, where he was hyper efficient, getting anywhere he wanted to go on the floor, little floaters, three-pointers. He was 13 for 17 from the field. Made all 5 of his three-point attempts, made all 12 of his free throws. When he's getting into the lane, he's got that floater, and he's getting fouled. That's a problem for the opposition, because he's also such a good free throw shooter. So they're going to need everything that Ayo Dosunmu can give them going forward if they want to keep their season afloat. I know they're up 3-1. That sounds crazy to say, but into the second round, if they should make it there, they're really going to need him.
Most points off the bench in Minnesota Timberwolves playoff history, 43 points in 42 minutes, 12 for 12 from the free throw line. As you said, make your free throws, kids. I mean, he had himself a night. Now, end of the game, we saw a scuffle, a brouhaha, a little bit from Ayo Dosunmu, who goes for 43 points in 42 minutes. They do take a 3-1 series lead. Game 5 is Monday back in Denver. John Gonzalez here with us on CBS Sports HQ. John, thank you. So when the Timberwolves have themselves a 3-1 series lead, they don't lose. They're a perfect 3-0. But now they got to figure out what to do without DiVincenzo, and some concerns for Anthony Edwards. Now dealing with a left knee injury. It's his bad knee. He will undergo testing as they wait to see those results. Again, Game 5 back in Denver on Monday night.